Hi friends, happy Friday. Let's see if we can make sure that we have video and audio, and I don't hear it. There it is. All right, I can hear it. Okay, now I just have to fix my light because my light just went out. I don't know why. That's not gonna do. We're definitely gonna need light. It's a dreary day. I think it's this plug. Guess what? Are you on? Yay! There we go. Here we are. So happy Father's Day weekend, Friday. Thanks for joining. I'm Diane from BohoStamper, and we're going to do 15-minute card today. Today's card uses a die cut, so I'll do one variation in case you don't have a die cutting machine and you still like you like this card layout. You can do it with just a little stamped square. So let me get you over to what you're going to need for today. And the products that I'm using today on my card are retired Stampin' Up! Products, except for the paper colors, the Mint Macaron and the Evening Evergreen. Those are still available, but you can use whatever stamp set or dies that you have. And so I want to make a disclaimer here about the little 2.5 by 2.5 and the 2 3/4 by 2 3/4 pieces. Those may need adjusted depending on what stamp or die set you're using. If you're using a die that's a little bit larger, that 2.5 might not be big enough. Or if you're using one that's smaller, it might leave too much empty space on your card, and we might want to cut that down, which is what I will do in my second card here. The die that I'm going to use on that one is a little bit smaller, I think, than the one that I just have for my demo, for my display. So if you've had a chance to get your screenshot there, we'll move over to the desktop and then straighten the camera so that you're not all wonky. And here's our card for today. This light is just really shiny today. I don't know. I had it turned down, but then that's when it went out. So my die cut that I did fills the space of the 2.5-inch square. And that die came from Tasteful Textures. And all I did, I went through some of my die sets and tried to find something that looked a little floral to put on here. And I also found another one, I think that looks pretty. And that's from the lovely Lily Pad set, which I don't know that I've ever even used. Is that sad? And I thought this die may look nice. So that's the one I'm going to use on the card that we're going to put together now. And it is a bit smaller than my original. So we will cut down our Mint Macaron, And whatever we reduce the size of the mint macaron, we also want to reduce by that much on the background mat. Okay, so let's get started with that first, I suppose, huh? And I got my little baby boss machine here. This is my mini cut and emboss. And I'm just going to use that small piece of mint macaron that I have cut at 2.5 by 2.5. See, it's much smaller. The die is much smaller than what my paper is. So we will trim that down. But I'll leave like a nice even border on each side of that. And run it through. So I hope everyone's doing well. And you're all prepared for cookouts and barbecues with friends and family this weekend, I hope. You know, for me, that's the best part of every holiday, is just being with family. Oh, this isn't going to work the way I wanted it to because this cuts the flower out. So I guess I could still do that though. Make it work, right? Yeah, that'll work. That's okay. See, that's one of those dies that I didn't try first. I had shown, I think it was on Monday, we were using All Things Fabulous Darling, and I had cut, I just saw that little die cut right there. I had cut this piece out because I wasn't sure if it was going to cut out the card base or if it was actually going to cut out a piece of lattice looking. So when I'm not sure, I usually will just die cut a scrap piece of paper so I have it. And I didn't do that with this. See, we're not going to be able to use the square, but we will be able to use the die, the positive piece that it cut out, rather than the negative piece. Oh, there's my great cardboard. I couldn't find it, and I figured that was a hint that it was too dirty to have on my desktop today, so I just got some black cardstock to put here. Changing that was long overdue anyways. It was starting to get pretty dirty. This is a pretty die too. We should, maybe when I'm done, I'll try that and see how that's going to come out. Okay. Focus, Dee Dee, focus. Okay. Card base of mint macaron, which is just an 8.5 by 11 sheet of cardstock that is scored, and then I'll fold in half. Make 4 1/4 by 5.5 card base. And our evening evergreen mat will be the next layer. And that is 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. And then I have a piece of designer series paper, and I got this from Share What You Love, and I have a bunch of this paper because when it came out, I don't know, I just really like the colors in it. Excuse me, and I like the little bit of foil accents. I don't know if you can see that in the paper. So anyways, I think I bought like 3 or 4 packages of this, which has been long retired. And this was a huge package. These were 24 sheets in those. So I'm going to be using some of that in my upcoming workshop. Try to use some of that up. Okay. So we have a piece of that. And then, let me see. I have a coordinating piece of that designer series paper, which is cut at 1 3/4 by 4 7/8, and I'm going to layer that onto a piece of evening evergreen that is 2 inches across and 5 1/8 inches long, and then we will add our square. So now I need to cut my square down a little bit to accommodate this smaller flower. And this flower is about 2 inches So let's do 2 1/4 by 2 1/4, and then if I want to cut it down to 2 1/8 by 2 1/8, I can do that. And I think I do. I think I want a little less matte under it. 2 1/8. So I'll just cut a little sliver off of each side. All right. Now, my original card, I had a piece of, or I had a sentiment cut from the many messages that we had done quite a while ago, and I used that on my card. Not sure what I'm going to put on these next two. Oh, the one I am. I do have the stamp set out for that. Right now I'm just going to use some of the liquid Tombow glue, the multi-purpose glue, to adhere my little die cut to that square. And I want to put it kind of catty corner. I wish it wouldn't have seeped out under there. Tombow tends to stay sticky. And I'm going to layer my Designer Series paper onto the Evening Evergreen mat. And you could, at this point, you could add some ribbon if you like. You have some pretty ribbon that you want to put on your card. That would be nice. Maybe under this pan, or on top of this panel, a piece of ribbon over that would be very pretty. And maybe I'll do that on the next one, but since we're trying to do these quickly, we will get through this first one. Okay. Now I can put this mat to my card base. And I'm just layering this flat on my card base, leaving an even border. And then we'll layer our long strip also flat. The only thing that I'm going to use a dimensional on will be the die cut. And depending on what kind of a greeting you'd like to use, you might die cut that. I'm going to try to get some of that little glue residue off there. I really don't like when it does that. And I have other glue, I should have just used it. I'm obviously not coordinated enough to use Tombow without making a mess. Kind of like a kindergartner. I guess that's better. I was also working on cards. What do you think of this one? I was working on cards for our workshop coming up in August, and this is one of the ones that we'll be making. I haven't done an inside on any of them yet, so it's kind of in my way here. And if you are interested in joining us for that workshop, please check out my webpage, BohoStamper webpage, and get the details. And if you wanted to make a reservation for the August workshop, if you could let me know by the end of July, that would be wonderful, so that I make sure I have enough product for everybody. You can leave this here. You can take this as far as you want to. When I was cleaning up my one, this is a problem, I think, with other crafters. Once you start getting so many things, you don't realize you have stuff you didn't know you had. And I found these little flowers for every season gems. I had no idea that I had them. When I pulled them out, I was like, oh, that would have looked pretty on the card that I just made. So, and I'm not going to use that glue because I can't be trusted with it. Obviously, I'm horrible with it. So, let's just use some of this. And I think I'm just going to use some of these little gems. But guess what came? I was surprised. They're here. The 2021 through 2023 in color jewels finally showed up. Probably better without it. I'm telling you, this lighting today is awful. So anyways, I will get those out to my customers that I owed those to. And I hope you got your other packages in the meantime. And thank you for being patient while those were on back order. I will get them out ASAP. And so there is, oh, I guess we want some kind of a little greeting, don't we? I suppose that would probably be nice. So how about my other one? I'm going to do a get well. And I don't know if I have any of the, made it easy on the first one. I just had, like I said, some of those many messages. Oh, I have a whole thing of it. That's right. Yes, I do, because I've been stamping them. That's kind of long. I should have done that before I put my die cut on there. Because I probably would have put that in a different spot. That's kind of nice. Thinking of you with sympathy and prayers. That'll do. Well, thank you ever so much. Oh, I think. And those are just little greetings that I had used. The many messages stamp set and die that cuts out a bunch of little messages all at the same time. And I'm going to put this on a little bit of a backing so it's not so stark white. Since I have that little scrap of mint macaron left there from my die. Dress that up just a notch. Make it stand out, huh? Okay. That's nice. I don't know which way I guess this gives you a little bit more of the contrast in greens. Still have some sticky residue on there. Is it never going to go away? These erasers are just really wonderful. I don't know what I'd do without it. I'd probably never use my Tombow again. Those little glue erasers, and those are, I got mine on Amazon. They last forever. So now for the other card, I thought maybe we could, I just saved out some scraps of mint macaron and evening evergreen so that we could stamp our greeting directly onto that. So again, I'm going to use a mint macaron card base. And maybe did we want to add a little bit of ribbon to this one? Here's my evening evergreen mat. I guess I should have put my designer series paper on there first, my pattern paper. Do that backwards from what I usually do. Not that it matters, I suppose, unless you were adding ribbon or something to this, which I am not. So, safe. Center it. Okay. And then I have my coordinating piece of designer paper. I'm going to layer that on the evening evergreen mat, and I'm going to pull out some ribbon. And it should be right behind me. Oh, let me see. Evening evergreen, where are you? Such a pretty color of ribbon. It's really rich. So do I want a little bow? Let's do my reading first so that I can see if I want to add a bow or just layer the greeting on here with a ribbon. So I'm going to use Gorgeous Posies, and I wanted to make a Get Well Soon card. This was out of a kit, actually. So it coordinated with a kit. We had a beautiful, I don't know where that's at. I have it still because the cards that I made from it, the kit came with this beautiful box. And then you could store the cards in it afterwards, which is what I did, but I don't know where I put it. That's not very helpful, is it? Okay. Never mind. Okay, Get Well Soon. I'm going to stamp that in Evening Evergreen, and I'm going to just stamp it onto a piece of my mint macaron. And then we can layer this in squares, just like we did the other. And this is where I said that you would maybe want to, again, alter the size of your squares because I don't want to leave a lot of empty space around my greeting. No, I hear them. The kids, I know, the kids are playing outside, huh? Yeah, they're okay. Oh, summer vacation. She's gonna go crazy hearing kids all summer. She'll just have to get used to it. They need to have their fun. Okay, I think that my height is good, and that is about 1 3/4. So let's make that'll work. One 3/4, and how about 1 7/8? We'll make it just a little larger. Nice. Layers are wonderful. Great way to dress up your cards. Let me put this onto the mat, and then we can add a ribbon. And we can still add some of those little gems too. I think we're going to get some rain here, and the pressure is just really intense right now. I'm starting to get quite a bit of a headache. So, let me see, do we want a bow or do we just want the ribbon to go around it? I think I just want the ribbon. I'm almost thinking a bow is going to be too much. So let's get a little glue dot on the end of our ribbon, and I think there's kind of a right and a wrong side to this sheer ribbon. I don't think that it's that noticeable. And then I'll just add a glue dot on the end. I took my good scissors, my ribbon scissors downstairs yesterday. Did you scare everybody away? Did you scare all those kids outside? I bet you didn't. All right, we can adhere the panel to our card base, and I like to make sure that when I have ribbon or something on the back of my card, I do put a little bit of adhesive over it, whether it's your tape runner or you use a tear and tape type adhesive, or if you're going to pop this one up with dimensionals, I would put a dimensional on the ribbon just to help keep it right where it's supposed to be. Okay. Let's see. Get some of these on our greeting. So we'll put one in the middle so it doesn't sag in the middle. No saggy. Oh, I like it better off to the side. And let's go ahead and add a couple more of our little gemstones. Use my art glitter glue again. And I can't tell, I think these are some different sizes in here. Oh, I think they are. I think that's a tiny one. I'll put you down here. And, no, put a smaller one up here, I think. There we go. Just a little bit of blingy bling. Not too much. I have these, the flower flourishes that we got with our new ink colors, and I want to use them, but I haven't made a card with the right colors lately. I have to fix that. And so here's the other one, and I think I like this better with the sentiment stamped on it rather than having a die cut in the square. So entirely up to you how you make your card. You want to make it something that is your very own. Design it the way you like. Use the products that you have. This is just an idea of what you can do with maybe some of the stamps or dies that you may already have. Now see, I'm liking the ribbon and I'm thinking, should I have put a bow on that? I don't know. These almost look opposite, don't they? Isn't that weird? because I have the negative panel of a die on here and the positive part of a die on here. And the mint macaron is on top of the evening evergreen on both cards, but that's just funny how they look opposite like that. Interesting. So, there I am. There's our cards for today. How about that? Half an hour. Wow. So it's definitely an easy peasy card to make. And use up some scraps even if you have just a couple of scraps that will go together. You know, make sure that your coordinating cardstocks match each other, and yeah, try to do that backwards. You know, you wouldn't want to use, maybe you would. Maybe you want to use a couple of way different colors of cardstock. There's that light. Oh my goodness, I gotta figure out what I'm doing with that light. It's the same one that I always use. It's just being difficult today. Maybe because it's kind of dreary and dark outside too. But anyway, have a wonderful, happy Father's Day weekend, and God bless you all. We'll see you next week. Monday, we will be live on Facebook for my Hello Monday at 10 o'clock, and then again next Friday for 15-minute Friday, and I don't think the 25th. When is the 25th? Because I don't know, I have to get a Christmas card ready, huh? Well, when is the 25th? Oh, it is next Friday. Well, we'll have to do a Christmas card and a 15-minute card. How am I going to do that? A 15-minute Christmas card, maybe. All right. There's a challenge. I don't know about that. So thanks again for joining me, and I hope you all have a lovely day. Bye, everyone.